Hey guys, it's Marlene. This is a follow-up video to the one I made about shooting hybrid projects. Now, I've come up with a name for these things, and I'm going to call them hybrid films. And that's just my made-up thing. You can call it whatever you like. But when I refer to a hybrid film, I'm referring to photographers who take photos mainly, and who take short video clips of a project, a story, or whatever you want to call it, and put them together with some audio, and that could be music when you're starting off, to create a hybrid film. So photos, video clips plus audio equals hybrid film. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to edit your hybrid films. And I'm using free software that's available for Windows and Mac. And no, it's not DaVinci Resolve, because that's too complicated for a beginner. This is simple and free. And it's called Insta360 Studio. Now, here's the cool thing. I found this because of this Insta360 Ace Pro 2 camera that I got. And I was teaching a friend of mine how to use the camera and how to edit the videos. And I realized, and he has Windows, and I realized that this software was pretty good for beginners. It allows you to add photos, videos, and audio. It has built-in transitions. It has built-in soundtracks. It has a lot of cool, simple features, and it doesn't overwhelm you with too many things to learn. There's also a mobile app for Insta360, and that has AI editing functions. The Studio desktop app does not. So what I'm going to show you is not AI. I'm going to show you how to manually edit your hybrid films. So before you get started into the video editing, your film editing, what you need to do is prep your photos. Now, you don't want your photos to be huge. You don't want them straight out of the camera at 40 megapixels if you have a huge megapixel camera. You know, you could do 4K photo files, so maybe 4,000 pixels on the long side. That would work. And if you're shooting video, well, you could use 4K video or 1080p. All right, this is Insta360 Studio. We're going to create a new project and make our first hybrid film. So when you open it up, it says New Project. And let's call it 3 hybrid film. I want my ratio to be 16:9. You can choose whatever you want. I shot my video clips at 24, so I'm going to match it to that. And when I'm ready, I hit confirm. And we'll just have a quick tour of the interface here. And we have media, music, text, transitions, and movement. Just ignore movement unless you actually are shooting with a 360 camera. You can use any camera to edit films in this app. So first thing we want is to go to some media, and we have project media, general media, and temporary media. I typically just use the project media folder, but if you have something that you use with every single video, you can put it in general media. Next, we have music, and there's a whole music library here that you can use. However, this is not for sharing. It is only for if you're using the Insta360 cloud app. So just make sure if you put music that you take from here, that you don't share it on YouTube or Instagram, because you might get flagged for copyright infringement. We also have our text app, which I'll go over later, and transitions. Okay, so let's add some media. So to add media, you can do it two ways. You can go into this media tab and import it from a memory card or things like that. But I typically just go back to the project window and import this way. And I've tagged some clips here that I want to import. I don't know if I'll use them all, but there we go. And I'm going to add some photos. So I've got my photos folder, and I've got a bunch of photos that I will add. Now here's the main window of the project, but if you click on any of these media files, it tells you the media info. All right, let's just drag one of these clips down to the timeline or one of these photos. I'm going to drag this photo down. You can see that you automatically get 3 layers. The top layer is text, the middle layer is your image media, so your clips or your photos, and the bottom layer is music. I'll add another photo, and it's just as easy as that. I can go to my videos, and I think I will drag this one down. And you can see that you can put them in between or at the end of your timeline. This is called the timeline here. And by the way, this is for anyone who's never edited video. I'm sure many of you are experts. Now, right now, when you add a photo, it is defaulted to 15 seconds. Well, that's just too long for a photo for me. So I'm just going to make it 3 seconds. And I'm going to just scrub through. That's what you call when you move your mouse across the clip, your cursor. I'm going to scrub through this clip, and I think I really only like the beginning, right about there when she goes into the store. So I'm gonna stop it right around there. So I'm clicking in the timeline by the numbers, and then if I click the white line, that's where you are in the timeline. I don't want to use the end of that clip, so I can cut this off different ways. I can use these buttons right here. I can split that clip, which will give me 2 parts. I can trim the beginning. I can trim the end, which gets rid of the end. Or I can chuck it out, or I can change the speed. Now that's kind of fun. So or I can just manually drag it. But let's say I'm in a hurry and I want to trim the end. Boom, the end is gone. And now I have just that part as she walks into the store. And that is, let's see how long that is. I'm going to just make it a bit bigger. So 4 seconds, 0.17. So not super long. So that's great. I want to keep the attention of my viewers. Okay, so let's add a couple more photos in there. And again, I like them 3 seconds long or 4 seconds long. Now, of course, you can cut to the beat. You can add some music down here, and you can change your clip length to the beat of the music. So let's just quickly add some music in here. Sure, that's fun. Okay, so I'm going to go plus, and it goes right where my white timeline marker is, but I just want it at the front here. So we'll put it at the front, and this is a 30-some second clip, which is great. It's just short. This is our first hybrid. We don't want to make it too complicated. I'll add another photo. Whoops. Oh yes, and you can change the order of your photos just by dragging them across. I'll just put one more photo here, and one last photo. Actually, I'm going to put that in the middle. And I want to match the end of my music. Okay, so there I've got my clips, and you can scrub through them and see what it looks like. Okay, now, one thing you might notice is that this shot here in the beginning fills the screen. It fills the 16:9 ratio. However, and so does the video, but this one doesn't. Unfortunately, I can't figure out a way to scale the image to crop it, so to speak. It just won't let me do that. You can change this, orientation of it, but then everything changes in the timeline. So you have to be careful with these ones. I want to keep my main timeline at 16:9, but you can't crop the images once they're imported. And if you know how, please let me know, because I've looked for the answer to that and I can't seem to find it. Okay, let's add text now. So let's go to the beginning of our film. We're going to add text, and we have a nice dark space in this image. So let's add a nice title. Let's go, this one's fun. Okay, it says vacation mood, but guess what? We can change the words, and we can change where it is. So just click on the text, and you can change the size of it as well. So let's put it right in this dark spot here. And we can change the color of the words. So I think I'd like to maybe change this one to red. Let's see how it looks. Or maybe yellow. Orange. Yeah, why not? Now, I don't want those words. My words are going to say hybrid film. Now I just realized that I put music in here from the Insta 360 Studio app, so I have to change my music. So I'll delete this music and I will add other music. So I'll just go to import and I will have some music in here. There we go. And that's music that I've downloaded from YouTube because I am putting this on YouTube. So I just drag that on and you can see here that it is longer than my photos. So I'm just going to shorten it first of all. So I go to the end of my clip and I click on my music and I just hit this one and trim end. Whoops, I trimmed the whole thing. You know why? Because I didn't have my cursor on the timeline itself. You need to have this white line on the timeline. It's trimmed to the length of my film now. Okay, so now what I want to do is fade this out, and I will use the audio fade out on the top here, on the top left, top right, sorry. Now when I play it, it fades out. Oh yes, a couple more things. If you wanted to edit your photos and video clips, there's something up here called image processing. So you click on a clip, and you can do color plus and it automatically adjusts and you can change the strength of that. And if you hit adjust, you can actually go in and change things manually if you haven't quite tweaked it the way you wanted originally. So say you were coming straight out of the camera and it wasn't quite the way you wanted it, you can change things in this little window here. So image adjustment. Okay, there's one last thing to do, and that is to add some transitions. So we go to the transitions menu at the top, and we have many categories of those. Let's try some camera movement, maybe in the beginning. Actually, I'm going to expand my timeline a little bit so you guys can see it better. There we go. So when you add a transition, you can actually change the length of that transition as well. You can make it go slower or faster. Some of the things I like are the glitches. They're kind of fun. Let's put a glitch between these two. Let's see what we got for natural. Got some crazy stuff in here. So just be a little careful of how many transitions you use. And it might even be wise to just use a couple of transitions so that you don't, make your viewer a little mind boggled. But, oh, this one's hilarious. Look at that one. Perfect for the ice cream. And let's just go to the basics. Ooh, some of these are not my taste, but I just want you to see what's available. It only does transitions in between frames. Okay, so we'll scrub through and we'll see what they look like. Okay. So you don't need transitions either. You can just keep a jump cut. So those are transitions. So now we just export our final project. Export. It's going into movies. Match the frame rate. This is the size I want it at, 1080p. Going to leave the bit rate at the default here, and I'm going to hit export. And if you want to watch the export progress, you just hit Task Center. Okay, let's have a look at our final film. So how do you find your previous projects? Well, the easiest way to do it is to open the 360 app again. And when you open it up, you get the welcome screen. You can either choose a new project or it has your recent projects. That's the easiest way to find your recent projects. If you don't do it this way, you have to dig through your hard drive to see where you saved your files and open up the individual project files. So the quickest way to do it is quit the app, start it up again, and you will see all the previous projects, and you'll start a new project. There's no way to start a new project from the app when it's already open, and that is one of the frustrating things about this app, and hopefully they fix it in the future. You can use whatever editing software you like. In the past, I used something called ProShow Web, and that was over 10 years ago. And sadly, they no longer support it. It was a web app, and it's no longer available. However, I looked at those films, hybrid films from back in the day, probably 12, 13 years ago, and they really look dated. So they don't really hold up to today's, editing standards. So I think it's a good thing that you do this manually, actually, because you can put your own style in instead of relying on automatic editing. And originally I was going to teach you automatic editing, but I feel that everybody's different and those automatic editing apps don't suit everybody. And I find there's so many choices. You spend way too much time choosing a template, so to speak. So this is template-free editing. Do it the way you like it. The only thing you need to watch out for is the music. For my purposes, the YouTube music library is fine. I don't stress too much about music. I know some people, they're music designers. But for this, your first hybrid films, I just want you to keep it simple. So I hope this has inspired you to make your first hybrid film or films. And like I said, if you haven't seen the ideas that I put forth in the last video, check that out. And if this video has helped you, please consider buying me a coffee or donating through PayPal or a super thanks. I really appreciate all the support that my viewers give me. It really lifts me up, keeps me going, keeps me motivated, and helps me to pay for the little accessories that I need to keep my photography fresh and my channel fresh too. Okay, see you next time.